The Courage to Stop Digging by Scott Stoner. If you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. I sometimes have a hard time admitting that I am wrong. For example, there have been a number of new initiatives that I have tried over the years with our Living Compass ministry that were complete flops. That would be fine in and of itself, even expected for a growing and developing ministry. The problem, though, was that I had a hard time admitting these initiatives were not working, despite all the signs pointing toward the obvious. Instead of acknowledging the signs, I would often invest even more time, energy, and money in them in order to prove that they were, in fact, good ideas. With time and hard-won experience, I am happy to say that I am more often than not better able to heed the advice from Will Rogers. If you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. I don't think I'm the only one who struggles to admit when I am wrong, or to admit that something I am doing is clearly not working. I see this same tendency in a lot of the couples I work with as a marriage therapist. Often, more hurt is caused by denying and defending a wrongdoing than by the actual wrongdoing itself. An apology finally offered after an hour of denying or minimizing is much less meaningful than an apology that is offered immediately without hesitation. But apologies take courage and can be hard. Sometimes the courage to change directions simply means first acknowledging that we were wrong. And when we can do that, it releases the energy it takes to defend or minimize our mistake or misjudgment, and frees us up to move in new directions. Making it personal. To paraphrase Will Rogers' quote as a question, do you ever find yourself continuing to dig even when you find yourself in a hole? If so, why do you think that is? What helps you to move more easily and acknowledge a mistake or misjudgment, and then begin to move in a new direction? As I thought about our devotion today from Living Compass, my mind went back to one of my favorite children's stories from growing up, one that I used also when I was teaching second grade many years ago. The story is Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel, Mary Ann. If you're familiar with the story, it's a story about after many years of working successfully together, Mike and his steam shovel, Mary Ann, face competition from modern technology, from gasoline and diesel images. They are almost out of work when they learn about a small county building a new town hall. And Mike tells the people that he can dig that cellar in one day with Mary Ann. No one believes him, but he is confident he can do it. And he begins to dig with Mary Ann. At the end of the next day, he indeed has dug the cellar. But if you remember the story, there was one problem. He forgot to dig a way out. Indeed, Mike Mulligan had dug himself into a hole. The beauty and grace of that children's story is that a little girl comes along and suggests that now that they have this situation, perhaps Mary Ann can become the boiler for the new building, and Mike Mulligan can work there. While this is a delightful children's story, it reminds us of the grace and the chance of opportunity of new beginning. It's a reminder of what can happen when our lives are transformed by God's redeeming love. It can also serve as a metaphor of God's grace. Mary Ann is literally loved into a new way of being, a new way of living. What was old is transformed to new opportunity. Lent provides us with a time of year to remember and recall God's grace. We have the power to remind one another that healing is not about going back to the way things were, but it's about finding new life in Christ. Sometimes healing is about moving forward and living into that grace-filled life given to us through Jesus Christ. Remember today that you are loved. God bless you.